You open a drawer and you close it, and something or someone is inside. People are quickly sorted by school grades and waist size, by hairstyle and skin color, by their speaking talent and their state of health, and sometimes even according to how strong their faith supposedly is. Sorted like socks in drawers. Drawer open, drawer closed, and once you're in, you can't get out. Paul the Apostle knows about that too. Whoever puts himself in the public eye, he knows will be judged, makes himself vulnerable and open to attack. People believe to know into which drawer you belong. Out of experience, Paul writes to the church in Corinth. This, then, is how you ought to regard us, as servants of Christ and as those entrusted with the mysteries God has revealed. Now it is required that those who have been given a trust must prove faithful. I care very little if I am judged by you or by any human court. Indeed, I do not even judge myself. My conscience is clear, but that does not make me innocent. It is the Lord who judges me. Therefore, judge nothing before the appointed time. Wait until the Lord comes. He will bring to light what is hidden in the darkness, and will expose the motives of the heart. At that time, each will receive their praise from God. Drawer open, drawer closed. I know that too. I even know both sides. I know the feeling of being put in a drawer like a pair of socks, but I also know myself as someone who sorts people. That is one of my very weak points, I know that. How quickly do I judge someone, and how hard is it for them to get rid of that label, to get rid of that stamp, to get out of that drawer again. But the reflex to sort, I think, is in all of us. Our brain is constantly busy sorting events, people, things. Otherwise you would not be able to live at all. If our brain did not sort into categories like important and unimportant, harmless or dangerous, good or not good, if our brain did not sort, then we would probably be overwhelmed by the thousands of impressions. Instead, the brain does sort, without us consciously knowing. That was easier in the past with our ancestors, when their brain only had to sort between prehistoric man and mammoth, hand axe and saber-toothed tiger, things like that. Our world in which we live today is much more complicated and complex. But the mechanisms have remained simple. Open the drawer and close it, and something or someone is inside. Once you're inside, you can hardly get out again. Not even if it doesn't fit, if you are unjustly in it, if you are actually quite different or want to be different and just don't get a chance. When no one wants to see why you have become like that, and sometimes someone even puts themselves into certain drawers. I think that happens more often than you think. Drawers with signs like, I can't do that anyway, or I am not enough, not smart enough or not pretty enough, or I don't have the right to be loud, to be honest, to say no, to live my own life, whatever. It is the inner doubt that puts us in there, drawer thinking, drawer feeling and living. Life is full of such drawers. Everyone puts others into them, and everyone puts themselves inside. Drawer open, drawer closed. Paul opens the drawer again. He says, I don't know myself if I am right. I try, but that doesn't mean that I am good enough for you, for me, for God. And that is the way it is with everyone. We try to pass, we try to look good, we hope that others will put us into the good drawer, but no one knows if we really belong there. No other people and not ourselves, only God. Only God can know everything. Only God can judge us definitely. Then, when we are face to face with Him. That is why we should also leave the last word to Him and be careful about judging judging on us and others. For everything we can say is provisional and incomplete, about others and about ourselves. And sorting into drawers makes us unfree, the one who ends up in it, but also the one who sorts. This is then how you ought to regard us, as servants of Christ and as stewards of God's mysteries. This is how Paul begins this section. Servants of Christ and stewards of God's mysteries. That's what it says on the drawer where we belong. A drawer for those who are gripped by God's love. A drawer for those who know that God's mystery is greater and cannot be defined. Servants of Christ and stewards of God's mysteries. Some put us into this drawer and say, these are the naive and a little bit crazy. And those who say that are right, only in a completely different way. Because whoever is in that drawer knows that all other drawers are only temporary. Naive and weird, that it is, but a way out of thinking in drawers. Because before the child we are waiting for in Advent, for that child we are small. Before the mystery that surrounds us, we are all ignorant. Before the God who loves us into life, we all do know all that we do is just a trial. And that's what it says on our drawer. A drawer that doesn't lock us in and imprison us, but that sets us free. Servants of Christ and stewards of God's mysteries. That's where we belong. In the end, God will open that drawer. But until then, let us live that people say of us how crazily and gloriously they believe in life, those who belong to this Jesus of Nazareth. Amen.